Down goes number one. The women give us more highlights, and the winner of Name Our Podcast is announced. This is Lacrosse Unlimited Weekly. So before we get into it all, we have the NCAA Basketball Championship tonight, 9:30, North Carolina versus Gonzaga. Hopefully the Heels bring it home. I do not want to see Gonzaga win at all. The bigger basketball story is Mississippi State knocks off the women UConn team, but come up short to South Carolina in the championship. All that work for nothing, but hey, UConn's streak has ended. So let's get back to Lax, the LU podcast. Thanks for everyone who commented and subscribed, joined in on it. Really cool, you're gonna win the head. But first, we gotta get into the highlights and the recap of the weekend. So down goes number one, the curse stands. Number one, you don't wanna be it. Number two, you might wanna be. Awesome game on ESPNU, Saturday at 12. It was Cuse and the Irish at Arlotta. Big Orange came up on top. Nick Mariano had another big day, scoring 4 on the Irish. The big matchup in the Ivy League this weekend, we had Penn and Yale. Ben Reeves went off, had 5 and 2. The Bulldogs took that one. Albany ran away on Stony Brook, 19-11, as Connor Fields stays on track to beat Lyle Thompson's single-point record. So in ACC play, Duke makes a nice big comeback, crushes the Heels, 12-8. Heels, time for a captain's meeting, or Bresci to change some things up, I believe. This year's Power Conference, the Big Ten, had a huge showcase. You had Maryland and Michigan on after the Cuse game. 15-8, Kelly, Maltz, and Bernhardt all with the hat tricks on the day. So on Friday, Hopkins put the nail in the coffin on Rutgers. I believe the hot streak's over for them. Hate to say it, but the Blue Jays, Kyle Marr had 5 goals. The son of Coach Marr up at Albany, which is pretty cool. And to wrap up our game of the week, we had Penn State defeating Ohio State 9-4. And Penn State, like I said, is the new number one, I believe. We'll get into that after. Great effort by Penn State. 8 different players scored. A little quick other notables. We had Denver beating Georgetown 20-11. Turnpike boys stay undefeated and beat Fairfield 10-6. And Virginia, the Battle of Virginia, Virginia and Richmond, 8-7. And Nova keeps the streak alive, beating Marquette in overtime 10-9. And now that brings us to the question now. Who is number one? Obviously Penn State, but let's go to my top 5. We have Denver, Notre Dame, Cuse, Hofstra, Turnpike boys at 2, and then Penn State at 1. Comment below your top 5. Let me know who they are. We're going to jump into the women's side of things, the human highlight reels. For our game of the week, we had UNC tops Notre Dame 16-9. Hendrick led the way with 4 goals. Penn State ladies keep winning. It's a thing, you know. They took down the Buckeyes, the sweep of the Buckeyes, 16-12. Madison Carter had 5 and 1 on the day. Louisville with the upset over Virginia Tech, 13-12. Hannah Kolowski led the way with 4 goals. And then we had Syracuse and Duke with a close game, but 10-9. The Orange squeak away with that. So Stony Brook downs Albany, 18-11. The Ole Mill sisters had a big day, including another BTB as she's falling down. Check this one out. Another quick hits from the women. Terps stay undefeated with a win over Michigan, and Navy dominates Army in this year's rival game, 22-7. James Madison with the upset win over Towson, 9-5. And now for this weekend's Pick'em. Penn State, again, yes, Penn State is in the Pick'em. We have them matching up with Maryland. I'm gonna go with Penn State for sure. Keep the hot hand, but we'll see what happens. Maybe get that loss out of the way now. You're number one, keep the curse going. The theme of the season is number one can't stay for more than a week, right? All right, women's UNC Louisville, I'm gonna go with the Heels, although Louisville is coming off a big upset win over Virginia Tech. I just think the Heels are gonna stay hot. And that's it. Comment below your pick'ems underneath. Let me know who you got. I got Penn State and UNC. I wanna hear who you have. Let me know. So the NLL, here we go, diving into it. 4 weeks left, season's winding down. Schreiber and McCardle and The Rock had not only a rough time traveling, they had a hard time with 2 losses this weekend. First one was a 14-11 loss to Vancouver, and Corey Small had a big one in that game with 4 and 3. Then on Sunday, the Black Wolves unfortunately came up victorious with a 15-14 win. Crowley and the Buchanans all had 5 points on the day. We had the Rush pull off a solid win against Buffalo, 17-14. Mark Matthews, the GOAT, with 9 points. That guy's still getting it done, huh? We had Calgary downing Rochester, 11-9. A tough year for Roch Vegas. Maybe next year. I think the loss of Joe Walters starting to show. Finally, we have the Swarm dismantling the Mammoth, 21-13. 4 guys had over 9 points. Lyle Thompson had 11. Big weekend for him. That's it, right? If I missed anything, comment below. I don't know. I think I nailed it all, but we'll see. Product of the week. We have an awesome new pair of shorts coming out this week, right, Pete? When they're going to be paying some homage to the Nintendo classic Duck Hunter. Pictures up here of these bad boys coming out soon. So make sure you go online and in your local stores. And the giveaway winner, everyone's waiting for it. You're going to win that head. The name of our podcast is The Scoop. Thanks for all of you who commented on it below. Some really funny entries down there, but only one could win, and one that is appropriate, I should say. And the winner who claimed that our podcast is The Scoop is Evan Grossman. I know there was other guys that had it, but Evan was the first one to have it. Wrote it down before you, sorry. Evan, DM us on Instagram, we'll send you that head. And thanks for naming our podcast, which will be coming out in a week or two. So keep an eye out on that. WrestleMania last night, I'm still catching up on it. Upset Shane McMahon lost, but that guy's a high flyer. Green screen that if you can find it. And that's it. Comment below anything I missed. Like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you next week. Penn State, #1. Ruin the curse. Reverse the curse, I should say. Or ruin it. Ruin it. Put it here. Ruin it. And that's it. I'll see you next week. Later.